If you are somebody that watches a lot of chess videos, you will realize that basically there are two things that people tell you. They will either tell you to memorize sequences, so memorize moves, memorize openings, or they will tell you to just learn patterns and then try to find those patterns in your games. But they are basically missing one very key thing, which I will demonstrate here by playing a game with my rating climb account. So we are playing with the black pieces rated 1360. I will be playing a Sicilian, which I actually never play, but it's not about the opening here. The key thing that people don't really explain is that you really need to learn how every single piece connects and works together. And so many people just think about individual moves. They think about individual moves that they have studied, or they try to memorize the sequence, or they try to memorize a pattern, which will never happen in their games anyways. But it is more important to understand how everything works together and how every single move you play changes your position and basically tells you what the next moves are. For example, I played c5 to prevent my opponent from playing d4. They go here with the bishop, so I played e6 to prevent them from potentially going in here and attacking. And that basically already tells me quite a lot about the future of the game. It tells me that since my pawn is on c5, I will most likely have to go with my knight here. It also tells me that I am looking in the future to see if I can play this push pawn to d5, which after the exchange, they would have to move this bishop. So that is another plan, and I think actually that is the plan that I will go for here. So every single piece connects together, and usually you will be able to find the best moves just by thinking, what are my pieces telling me to do? And this was a very, very obvious sequence from that position. Now, of course, we do have to watch out because our king is still in the center of the board. We haven't castled yet, so that is something we need to do as soon as we can. They are pinning my knight. I don't think it is a huge problem right now, but I do want to make sure that they don't get a second piece in there to attack. So I will just develop my bishop to make sure that I can cover this. I don't mind if they ever give me this check, because I will just be able to block and then basically castle on the next move. This is a bit of a strange move. I think they are trying to play d4. I'm probably not going to take this because otherwise I activate their knight. So I don't think that is the smartest of plans. I think I will actually play a6 because I want to relieve the pressure of my knight. For example, like this. And now this pawn is supporting my pawn here in the center. And even if they take, they will basically be activating my bishop towards their king. And I'm trying to really understand this position. This is something I have never played before, but I'm trying to just get a feeling for what would potentially be a good move in this position. And I think this central setup is actually quite strong. I know my pawns are no longer connected, or at least not all of them, but I think this is still a good setup. This queen move that they played, they are attacking this, they are attacking this, but I don't think it's going to do anything in the long run. I want to castle, but I first have to probably develop my knight to one of these squares. The open file tells me that they will most likely throw in this check, and then I can, I think, probably block with one of my bishops, which will probably be fine. So I am just going to develop and see if I can castle. I am also developing my knight here, by the way, and not to e7, because the queen is already aiming at this square. The knight might aim at that square in the future, so it's more useful to have it here. They are pinning my knight, which I don't think matters. We can basically just castle. And if they take this, I will be taking with the queen, and that would be fine, because basically we are just activating our queen to a better square where we also have some attacking potential. Okay, and I think now it's time to see if we can basically start doing something, because I have been defending for quite a while here. So I want to start attacking as well. I think h6 is interesting. If the trade happens, that is better for us. And if they move back, I'll figure out something else then. But at least the pawn is no longer here, and we're also stopping this knight from coming in. I think there might be some variation where this is a plan, honestly. But I don't think it's a good plan here. If we move the queen and still protect the knight, then we can move the knight somewhere in the future. So I think that looks logical as well. So we are going to play this. And I'm trying to keep all of my pieces connected, basically, and working together. That is what I'm trying to do here. It is a position I've actually, I think, never had or almost never had, and that makes it even more interesting. They are attacking my queen, doesn't really matter, I can just move. I will probably have to block in my own bishop temporarily. Or just completely go somewhere else. Let me think for a moment. I think I might even just go back to d8, and then I'm always thinking that there might be some potential here on this diagonal as well, plus potentially this attack. But I do have to watch out they don't just go to that square with the knight and attack. Okay, we are still fine. What I want to do is I just want to develop more pieces. I think in the future I will probably launch a huge attack on their king side. How can I activate this bishop? I think I'll play this move, a5. Looks like I'm stopping them from pushing this, which was their plan in the position, but it also sets up this nasty threat with the bishop. So the reason I played this is because a3 by them is basically telling me they want to play b4, so it looks logical to play this, and at the same time we basically also get to develop this with an attack. They did move the rook. I don't know if they actually saw that and just played the best move, or if they got a little bit lucky there. This is attacked, but it's also protected. This is still not the best move because they would be playing here with the knight. Okay. Going in here would be losing. Going in here is just a temporary threat that doesn't really do anything. So I think we might need to get into some position where we activate a rook. That's interesting. Or we attack this weakness here. But we can't do it with the rook. We would be losing. So I will actually try to eliminate this bishop, because I think this bishop is their most annoying piece. It's basically holding everything together, also making it impossible for me to really start any attacks. And it's guarding that square where basically I want to attack. So that is why I think this makes sense. And if they trade, we just get a queen to the center of the board. That looks like it should be a mistake. Why? They are blocking in their own rook. They are basically cutting off the protection from this square. So I think we can just basically go in and get some free attack going. And they don't have the time to capture this, because otherwise they would lose the queen. So they have to move the queen first. Yeah, it looks like that was a little bit of a mistake by them. I actually kind of want to go back here now, since I have an extra knight attacking. But I don't know if it will work. Or maybe play something like the queen here. Yeah, I think that's interesting, queen here. And I could potentially go in with the check there. And my bishop is of course still protected as well, plus we have the potential to go for this check. So you can see I'm basically really trying to work together with all of my pieces. I'm never really thinking about one piece moves. I'm always thinking, is there a way that I can use all of my pieces together? That is what I want. And now we can just grab this. And I feel like there should be something going on here. Probably some type of checkmating pattern or something. I think if we take this, we can even drop our rook. We can take that. And then that's getting close to checkmate. So let's take this first. I could also, of course, recapture this, but I don't care. We are just going to see if I can go for something more interesting. There are probably also variations where I can sack a knight in some line and go for the checkmate. But now all of my pieces are basically working together. That's not really a good move. Or at least I don't think so, because I just have this. Then I can take this knight. Also setting up this attack. And if they take my bishop, I take with check. So basically white's position just got completely destroyed. And the only thing that I really wanted to show here is that I am always thinking about how can I use my pieces together as an army, basically, instead of just going for one move attacks. I don't see there's an easy way to actually get at the king. The queen can give a bunch of checks, but I don't really see any purpose behind giving a bunch of checks. So probably I have to get my rook into the game. For example, this would be fine. Okay, they are just trading. I think now we have the rook-queen combination. Now we should be able to play for a checkmate. Because I think this move is basically devastating. If they go here, that's a checkmate. If they go there, that's impossible. Basically, if they go here, that's also a checkmate. And I don't think there's any way for them to stop this. So, main takeaway from this video, try not to think about one move at a time. Try to think about how can I make my entire army of pieces work together. That is the most important thing that I wanted to teach you. It's always a little bit difficult to teach during these rate and climb games because it's hard to speak and play decent chess at the same time. But yeah, I know most of you actually like the rate and climb games more than the bot videos. So I'm thinking if there is something here, because if he plays this, that's actually a fork. And also I'm just pinning the queen. Yeah, and that's just nasty, right? I'm thinking if there's something else, because I don't want to get 5 comments saying that I missed an easier checkmate. Like something like this, but I don't really see any checkmate. So let's just do this. And I think he's just going to surrender now, honestly. Oh, he's going to continue playing. That's this guy has spirit. He wants to keep fighting, but it's not going to last long. Now maybe I should try to find the quickest checkmate. Because I have been getting some comments that I try to just simplify instead of finding the best checkmate. But that is actually my playstyle. I like to simplify instead of trying to find the best checkmate. This is a checkmate in 2, I think. Yeah, that's it. Alright, did we miss something? No, I think we actually played a perfect game. If you want to learn more, you should watch this video next.